What's up everyone? Happy New Year. This is my first beat of 2024, so let's get into it. Ooh. That kick is heavy. So that's sounding pretty cool. Let's jam some ideas on the piano and see what we can come up with. Yeah, that's quite nice. So I'm thinking of using G minor 7, A7 altered, D major 6 to B minor, and then maybe go around the houses on that for a little while. This sort of idea. And then I'm thinking of going to like this A flat major 7, G minor, F minor. Could play that as a B flat 7 sus, but let's stick to F minor. And then a D7 altered, which is the 5 chord of G minor 7. I'm liking how the root notes go up. Yeah, something like that. Let's jam it to the drums and see what we can come up with. Always do this. End up coming with new ideas. I think we're really close with that idea. I'm just not quite sure about that second half yet and how to bring it back round to the main loop. Just gonna keep jamming on it for now. Cool, let's see how that's sounding. Let's try this API channel strip for the piano. I never really use this for piano, but I think the compressor and EQ could sound quite nice in this context. Yeah. Maybe let's do a quick low cut, because I'm gonna add some bass as well. There's some real resonant frequencies in the low mids that I think is just because of this room, so I'm gonna try and find them and get rid of them if I can. Yeah, those. Let's get rid of that a bit if we can. And I can hear another one. Oh, horrible. Yeah, let's add a bit of a shelf as well. I've recorded the piano with felt, which is such a nice warm tone, but I like to sometimes compensate in reverse by adding a shelf to the high frequencies. Yeah, it's quite nice. I reckon that there could just come a bit earlier. Oof. I like that pickup there as well, it's pretty cool. Let's switch these drums up a little bit. Open hat can come a bit later. Yeah, let's add a little bit of compression to the drums as well, just to glue things together. Sounds nice and tight, maybe a bit too much. Let's dial in the mix a bit. Maybe I could repeat that same melody phrase. I don't know if I could just edit this in. I might need to play it, but let's see. It kind of works, to be honest. Yeah, that's quite cool because I played that chord at the end. So the end of the phrase is behind the beat, and then so is the next chord as the loop begins again. So that way I've just kind of edited part of the first half into like the second half. So it sounds quite natural. So here we end it. So you can hear that first chord, that G minor 7, is quite a bit behind the beat, but I kind of like how it's sounding. I'm not going to play with that too much for now. So let's add some bass to this. So I'm using Retrograde Bass by Teletone Audio. It's like a contact patch, and I think it sounds really cool. It's the palm muted version, which gives it a pretty subdued, warm tone, which I really love. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that they kind of added those samples in to make it sound even more realistic. It seems to be triggered randomly as well. That's kind of cool. Might have to add those in and play with those at some point. That's kind of cool. So the melody goes, or it could go wee ba dee do. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Dooga dooga, dooga dooga. But listen, let's just keep it flowing, and yeah, I can make edits later or even off camera another time. So easy just to get caught up in being a bit of a perfectionist, but over the years I've just kind of realized that really one of the best ways is just to keep moving forwards in a bit of a flow state, and then later on is a good time to edit, you know, when you've kind of like let all of the creativity flow and you might be wearing a different hat, and now it's time to edit and chop things down and rearrange them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, whilst initially I kind of thought googa dooga duh wasn't that cool or whatever, it doesn't really matter. That's fine. I like the staccato note as well. Also, I find when there's gaps, it can be a pretty good opportunity to add some fills and stuff like that. Something like this. Yeah, very nice. Awesome. Let's just add a little bit of source on the master. I love this SSL G-bus compressor. I love using it on the mix bus, or in this case, the master. I like using a pretty quick attack. And pretty quick release as well, and then just dial the threshold in so that it hits about -4 dB. I think that sounds pretty cool. Also, when I just want to export a new loop or an idea, I tend to use this plugin Gullfoss. It's basically an intelligent EQ that adds and takes away different frequencies based on what it thinks its modeling wants us to hear. A pretty useful plugin to speed up workflow, especially when you're exporting demos. This is what it sounds like, really dramatic. I don't use those settings at all. I just dial it in just a little bit. Let's A/B it. So this is without. I don't know if that's translated through onto YouTube. But when you put it on, it's like someone's taking a blanket off the speakers or headphones. It's weird. Without. Does sound quite cool still, kind of warm. Of course, in a real mixing situation, I'd spend a lot more time EQing to get a similar sound. But to speed up workflow, I think it's pretty cool. And then I love this tape machine, the Ampex from Universal Audio. Awesome. So that just adds a bit of a nice warm sound. And then, yeah, let's add a limiter. Sorry if that's just changed in your headphones loads. Awesome, so I think that's pretty cool. It's getting pretty late here, so let's have a listen through. I realise we've only got 3 elements. We've got bass, piano, and drums. But sometimes I think if you can make just a few elements sound good, then you're kind of onto something. For sure, I might revisit this in the future and work on it, adding new sections and different instruments. But let's take a listen to what we've got so far. played chord there the second time round. Three elements, pretty cool. Piano, bass, drums. Nice. So I'm already starting to hear some different ideas in my head, but it's getting late, I'm struggling to see, so I think it's time for bed. Oh yeah, by the way, you can access exclusive content over on my Patreon, where I filmed a breakdown of this chord progression, where I show you how to play the voicings and more. We've just hit 6,000 subscribers, which is insane. And honestly, creating these videos has given me a whole new sense of purpose and motivation when it comes to making music. Anything you can do to support through joining my Patreon would be greatly appreciated. I'll be sharing unreleased music, tutorials, like chord breakdowns like the one from today, as well as hosting a monthly Zoom hang, or Q&A if you want to call it that. So it would be exciting to connect with you for real. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.